Y'all stop everything you're doing because this right here might be the biggest betrayal scandal of the entire year. Imagine waking up one morning thinking the person you loved, supported, and literally funded has been playing you behind the scenes in ways you couldn't even imagine. That's exactly what Karlissa Rock says happened. And the story is so wild, even Hollywood couldn't script something this messy. Sources close to Karlissa say she's been pacing around her house, shaking, crying, trying to understand how the man she once defended to the world allegedly used her own money, not just to cheat, but to cover up another woman's pregnancy. And not just any woman, Hazel. Yes, that Hazel. But here's where it gets even crazier. Insiders are whispering that this wasn't a small slip-up or a simple lie. They're saying this was calculated, planned, hidden. A whole operation meant to keep Karlissa in the dark while her money quietly disappeared. And now, she's done playing nice. She's done being quiet. She's ready to expose everything, and she's coming for $100 million to make sure the world knows exactly what went down. But trust me, that's only the beginning. Karlissa Rock and Blueface are two names that have practically built their careers on chaos, controversy, and the kind of explosive love story that keeps the entire internet glued to their screens. From the moment they first appeared together, fans knew this wasn't going to be a fairy tale romance. It was going to be a roller coaster with no breaks. And for a while, that was exactly their brand: messy, unpredictable, and impossible to ignore. Karlissa, with her raw talent, unfiltered energy, and say-it-with-your-chest attitude, quickly rose to fame not only for her music, but for her vulnerability. She built a fan base that loved her for her authenticity. The girl who cried on camera, fought for the love she believed in, and wore her heart on her sleeve even when the world mocked her for it. She was the fighter, the survivor, the woman who publicly stood beside Blueface through scandals most couples wouldn't last a week through. Blueface, on the other hand, crafted his identity as the carefree, too-cool-to-care rapper who didn't just live in drama, he thrived in it. His music career had highs and lows, but it was his personal life, especially his chaotic relationship with Karlissa, that kept his name trending. To fans, he was unpredictable. One day, he'd be praising Karlissa for being ride or die, and the next day he'd be on Instagram Live throwing shade, making jokes, or stirring the pot just enough to set the internet on fire. But behind the public entertainment, there was a real relationship, real fights, real love, real money, and real consequences. For years, the two danced in and out of love, publicly breaking up and making up like it was part of their storyline. Clips of them fighting, hugging, crying, laughing, everything became content. They weren't just celebrities. They were characters in a reality show the world never asked for but couldn't stop watching. And in the middle of this whirlwind, another name kept popping up in the background: Hazel. Hazel wasn't a new face to the Blueface universe. She had been linked to him before, sparking rumors, whispers, and messy fan speculation. Some claimed she was just a friend. Others swore she was something more. And almost every time her name surfaced, the energy shifted. Comment sections would explode. Fans would compare timelines, screenshots, captions, and photos like detectives in a cold case file. Things only got worse when a now-viral social media clip showed Hazel in the background of one of Blueface's late-night Instagram lives. It wasn't conclusive. She wasn't on camera long, but it was enough. Fans immediately began saying, "Why is Hazel always around?" Blueface is playing both sides. Karlissa needs to wake up. Still, Karlissa defended him. Every time. Every rumor. Every accusation. Her loyalty was unshakable, even when the world was begging her to run. But then the whispers got louder. People started noticing strange transactions being posted in fan forums. Screenshots began circulating showing Blueface allegedly using funds from accounts that Karlissa was connected to. At first, it didn't make sense. Why would he need her money? Blueface had his own career, his own income, his own brand. But fans started piecing things together. One tweet that went viral read, "Notice how Blue always goes quiet when money scandals pop up? Something ain't clean." Another Instagram post, supposedly from someone close to Hazel, hinted at medical expenses and unexpected responsibilities being taken care of by someone big. And then came Hazel's suspiciously cryptic caption under a photo of herself sitting in a car, hand on her stomach, writing, "Everything happens for a reason. Blessed." Comments were brutal. "Girl, don't tell me what I think this means. This is going to blow up. Y'all messy." But the post that truly cracked everything open was one from Karlissa herself. She posted a screenshot of her bank app, numbers blurred, with the caption, "Somebody been playing with my money and my heart." No names. No explanations. Just enough to send the internet into chaos for 48 hours straight. Fans immediately connected the dots. They noticed the timelines. They matched dates. They compared Hazel's posts with Blueface disappearing acts. They saw the emotional breakdown in Karlissa's recent live, where she looked exhausted, eyes puffy, voice shaking as she said, "I trusted somebody I never should have trusted." Even then, nobody expected what came next. Nobody expected lawyers to get involved. Nobody expected the dollar amount, $100 million, to drop like a bombshell. Nobody expected Karlissa to accuse Blueface of taking her own money to hide another woman's pregnancy. But the signs had been there all along. And now, the world is watching the fallout unfold in real time. What makes this scandal even more explosive is how the entire timeline falls apart once you start connecting the dots. Because when you line up the dates, the social media posts, the disappearances, the emotional breakdowns, and the strange transactions, everything suddenly becomes way too suspicious to ignore. Time around Hazel. It didn't take long for people behind the scenes to start whispering that these weren't normal expenses. Hazel herself suddenly became more active on social media. Out of nowhere, she started posting polished selfies, inspirational quotes, and captions that felt way too meaningful. One read, "Some blessings stay hidden until the right moment," and fans immediately went into detective mode. Someone zoomed into one of her photos and claimed they spotted a medical bracelet, one that looked suspiciously like something from a prenatal appointment. Comments exploded instantly. "Girl, stop playing. There's something she's not telling us. This is messy, wow." Then came one of the biggest red flags, Blueface's sudden 48-hour disappearance. He vanished from social media, something completely out of character. Karlissa posted a sad message during this time, saying, "I don't know who to trust." Fans assumed they had broken up again, the usual drama cycle. But insiders later claimed this was the moment Hazel told Blueface about the pregnancy, and that this was the period when he allegedly started funneling money to keep everything quiet. Word spread quickly. A friend connected to Hazel allegedly left a cryptic comment on a gossip page saying, "Someone was freaking out, trying to figure out how to keep it quiet." That's when everything began spiraling out of control. The final push happened when Karlissa allegedly got a call, the call that changed everything. Someone tipped her off, telling her that not only was Hazel pregnant, but that the financial support keeping it under wraps wasn't coming from Blueface at all. It was coming from her. A person close to Karlissa says she completely broke down when she heard this. She kept repeating, "Not with my money. Not with my money." She felt humiliated, betrayed on a level she couldn't even process. Her team dug deeper, uncovering what they believed were patterns of payments tied directly to Hazel's expenses, money Karlissa claims she never authorized. Fans online erupted. Memes, threads, TikTok breakdowns, the entire internet turned into an investigation unit. One blogger wrote, "If Blueface really used her money to hide a pregnancy, that's emotional and financial betrayal on another level." A music commentator added, "This could destroy his reputation if even half of this is true." Even celebrities chimed in, with one saying, "Ladies, watch your accounts." Blueface didn't help himself either. Instead of clearing the air, he posted a cryptic message, "Everybody wanna play victim when the truth come out." And just like that, confusion skyrocketed. Was he admitting something? Denying everything? Mocking her? No one knew, and the mystery only fueled the fire. That's when Karlissa finally went silent. Not angry, not crying online, just silent, processing, gathering, preparing, and then, Without warning, she returned, not with emotion, but with lawyers, a legal team, a full investigation, a lawsuit demanding $100 million in damages. Her message was simple: you don't get to betray me and walk away like nothing happened. And with that, the scandal officially erupted into the public eye, a tangled web of cheating, finances, secrecy, and a pregnancy allegedly funded by the woman who had no idea any of it was happening. The craziest part? People close to the situation say this is just the surface. There are deeper secrets, bigger twists, and more shocking details that haven't leaked yet. Once the truth began leaking into the public, the entire situation spiraled in ways nobody could have predicted. What started as whispers and online speculation exploded into full-blown chaos the moment the lawsuit documents hit the internet. The timing was brutal too. Right when fans thought things couldn't get any worse, everything went nuclear. The first consequence was immediate. Karlissia's inner circle circled around her like a fortress. People close to her say she went from shock to heartbreak to rage in just a matter of days. One insider claimed she couldn't sleep, pacing back and forth in her living room at 3 a.m., mumbling to herself, "How could he do this with my own money?" It wasn't just the betrayal. It was the humiliation. The realization that she had unknowingly funded the very thing that shattered her world tore her apart. Meanwhile, Blueface's world cracked open just as violently. People who used to defend him suddenly went quiet. Fans who once laughed at his antics started turning on him. Comment sections filled with accusations like, "You crossed the line this time," and "Financial abuse is not entertainment." The same followers who once praised his chaotic energy were now calling him manipulative, selfish, and morally bankrupt. Even his family began feeling the heat, with people asking why no one stepped in earlier or warned Karlissa about what was happening behind closed doors. The legal consequences were even worse. As soon as the lawsuit was filed, lawyers on both sides started firing off statements, documents, and demands. Karlissia's team wasn't playing around. They were prepared, organized, and ready to expose everything. Rumors began swirling that they had gathered a mountain of evidence: bank transfers, messages, dates, receipts, timestamps, and even voice notes that tied everything together. According to one attorney close to the case, if this goes to court, it won't just be messy. It will be career-ending. And that's where the hypocrisy started catching up to Blueface. This was a man who always preached loyalty online, a man who publicly thanked Karlissa for being ride or die, a man who performed with her, made content with her, used her emotional transparency to boost views. Yet behind the scenes, he was allegedly rerouting her money without permission, keeping her in the dark while secretly supporting another woman's pregnancy. The contrast between his public persona and his private behavior became impossible to ignore. Fans didn't hold back either. They began digging up old interviews, past posts, old live streams where Blueface mocked Karlissia's emotional reactions or brushed off her concerns. Suddenly, those moments felt different, more sinister. One fan tweeted, "She wasn't crazy. She was reacting to things he actually did." Another commented, "The gaslighting makes sense now." Even more disturbing was how the scandal affected Karlissa on a personal, emotional level. People close to her say she started questioning everything, every memory. Then came the family fallout. Karlissia's relatives stepped forward with their own statements, saying they had warned her about Blueface for years, but she always believed his apologies and excuses. Now, they were demanding accountability. Blueface's family, on the other hand, went silent. Completely silent. No comments, no posts, nothing, which only made the public even more suspicious. The public contrast became striking. Karlissa crying in genuine pain, trying to piece her life back together, while Blueface posted memes and passive-aggressive captions, almost mocking the situation. It only made him look worse. People began calling his behavior heartless, narcissistic, and cold. Even bloggers who usually took his side started switching teams. And as all this unfolded, Hazel found herself caught in the middle. Her online presence shifted, less posting, more disappearing. Some say she's scared. Others say she's guilty. A few people claim she had no idea the money came from Karlissa. Whether that's true or not doesn't change the emotional explosion this scandal caused. The timeline of events painted a brutal picture. First the secret, then the lies, then the financial manipulation, then the exposure, then the lawsuit, and now, the entire world watching the consequences unravel in real time. The emotional weight of everything, the financial betrayal, the secret pregnancy, the hypocrisy, the humiliation, created a meltdown bigger than anyone expected. Karlissia's pain became public. Blueface's behavior became indefensible, and Hazel's role became a mystery wrapped in guilt and controversy. And the most shocking part? Even after all of this fallout, insiders say there are still details no one has heard yet. Details even more damaging, more emotional, and more explosive than what's already been revealed. And honestly, after everything we just unpacked, it's almost unreal. From the secret spending to the hushed-up pregnancy to the massive $100 million lawsuit now hanging over their heads, this entire situation feels like the kind of betrayal that you don't just bounce back from overnight. It's messy, it's emotional, and it's exposing layers of drama most people never even imagined were happening behind the scenes. Karlissa isn't just fighting for her money. She's fighting for her dignity, her trust, and the truth that she believes the world deserves to hear. And Blueface? Well, he's facing a storm that's gaining momentum by the hour. But now I want to hear from you because this story isn't just shocking, it hits deep. Do you think Blueface crossed a line that can't be uncrossed? Do you feel like Karlissa was betrayed on a personal level, on a financial level, or both? And if you were in her position, would you have taken legal action too, or walked away and tried to rebuild without looking back? Let me know in the comments, because I know this audience is not shy about telling it how it is. And trust me, we are nowhere near the end of this saga. More details are already starting to surface, and if the rumors behind the scenes are true, we haven't even reached the most shocking part yet. So stay tuned, stay locked in, and don't forget to drop your thoughts below, because this story is about to get even messier.